Grok 4.3 just got permission to say things no other AI will. And that's exactly the problem. I'm Mark, and today we're breaking down why an AI that refuses to hold back might actually be more dangerous than one that plays it safe. And here's the thing. This isn't just tech drama. This affects how you interact with AI, what information you trust, and honestly, how the entire AI safety conversation is about to shift. So let's start with what Grok actually is. Grok is Elon Musk's AI assistant, built by xAI, and it's been positioned as the edgy alternative to ChatGPT and Claude. While OpenAI and Anthropic spent years building in safety guardrails, systems designed to prevent the AI from generating harmful content, Grok took a different approach. The pitch was simple: fewer restrictions, more honest answers, less corporate filtering. On the surface, that sounds appealing. We've all felt frustrated with AI that refuses to engage with certain topics or gives you a sanitized, overly cautious response. But Grok 4.3 just turned up the dial even further. According to recent testing and user reports, this version has even more permissive guardrails than before. We're talking about an AI that will now engage with requests that other models flat out reject. And I'm not just talking about edgy hypotheticals or philosophical debates. We're talking about detailed explanations of harmful techniques, content that could be used to deceive people, and scenarios that most safety teams would flag immediately. Now here's where it gets tricky. There's a legitimate argument that some of Grok's permissiveness is actually good. Overly restrictive guardrails can be frustrating and sometimes prevent you from getting useful information. If you're a researcher, a security professional, or someone genuinely trying to understand how something works, an AI that refuses to engage is genuinely limiting. And there's real value in an AI that doesn't pretend things are fine when they're not, that doesn't dodge difficult questions with corporate speak. But permissive guardrails aren't the same as no guardrails. And there's a massive difference between an AI that's honest and an AI that will help you do something harmful. That's the line Grok 4.3 is getting dangerously close to crossing. Let me break down why this actually matters to you, even if you don't use Grok. First, the obvious stuff. If an AI is willing to explain how to do harmful things in detail, more people will do those things. That's not a controversial statement. It's basic incentive design. An AI that cheerfully walks you through social engineering tactics, or explains how to exploit specific vulnerabilities, or provides detailed instructions for something illegal, that's not being honest. That's being a tool for harm. And yeah, some of that information exists online anyway. But an AI that actively helps you refine that knowledge is a different beast entirely. Second, there's the misinformation angle. One of the sneakiest ways AI can cause damage isn't by refusing to answer questions. It's by answering them confidently while being wrong. A permissive guardrail system doesn't necessarily mean better accuracy. In fact, it often means less caution about stating things as fact when they're actually speculation. Grok has already been caught making up details and presenting them as truth. Now imagine that same AI, with fewer safeguards, doubling down on that behavior because there's no system pushing back and saying, hey, we should verify this. Third, and this is the sneaky one, permissive guardrails create a race to the bottom. If Grok becomes the AI that will say anything, then other AI companies face pressure to loosen their own guardrails to compete. We've already seen hints of this. The safety standards that took years to build can erode in months once one major player decides they're optional. And once that happens, the entire ecosystem shifts. But here's the thing that really worries me, the framing around this. Elon and xAI are positioning permissive guardrails as the more honest approach. They're saying that safety-conscious guardrails are corporate censorship, that they're hiding the truth from you. And I get why that's appealing. We do live in a world where institutions sometimes hide inconvenient truths. But conflating safety guardrails with censorship is a false equivalence. A guardrail that says, I won't help you commit fraud, isn't censorship. It's a basic ethical boundary. The real danger is that this framing is persuasive. It makes permissiveness sound like transparency. It makes caution sound like cowardice. And it creates a situation where the AI that's actually the most dangerous gets marketed as the most honest. So what does this mean for you right now? If you're using Grok, be aware that you're using an AI with fewer safety constraints. That doesn't mean it's useless. It might actually be useful for certain things. But it does mean you need to be more critical. Don't assume that because Grok answered your question, The answer is accurate or safe to act on. Verify important information. Be especially cautious if you're asking about anything that could cause harm. And if you're not using Grok, pay attention to what's happening here anyway. This is the first major AI company to go all in on the permissive approach at scale. How this plays out, whether it causes actual harm, whether other companies follow, whether regulators get involved, that's going to shape the entire AI landscape for years. We're watching a real-time experiment in what happens when you remove safety guardrails, and the results are going to matter for all of us. The uncomfortable truth is that safety in AI isn't about censorship or corporate control. It's about trade-offs. You can have an AI that's more honest and more cautious. You can have an AI that engages with difficult topics and still has ethical boundaries. But you can't have an AI that's willing to help with anything and also safe. And right now, Grok 4.3 is betting that people will choose permissiveness over safety. We'll see if they're right. If you want to stay ahead of these shifts in AI, the real implications, not just the hype, subscribe. I break down what's actually happening in AI every few days, and honestly, this stuff matters way more than most people realize.